Thursday, February 19th, 2026. The lights dim in Hollywood.
A really heavy day?
Yeah. A beloved icon, known for his charm as McSteamy on Grey's Anatomy and his terrifying intensity in Euphoria, takes his final bow at 53.
And the tributes begin almost immediately. You know, flowers, tears, heartfelt posts.
Right, but within 48 hours, the mood shifts. The sadness turns to shock, and the shock turns to absolute rage.
It was a jarring pivot.
Why is the internet screaming about money while a family is trying to grieve?
Yeah.
The cameras flashed. The crowd froze. And just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession.
And it wasn't the tragedy itself.
No, it was the price tag attached to it. Welcome to StarScope Report.
Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals.
From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today we're taking a deep dive into a story that really split the internet in half.
We have a stack of sources today. We're looking at the timeline of Eric Dane's final year, the medical realities of his diagnosis, and the intense fallout from a controversial fundraiser.
Our mission for this deep dive is really to peel back the glamour. We want to look at the intersection of celebrity, the healthcare system, and the expectations fans place on the stars they love.
Exactly. So let's start with the final act of Eric Dane, the star who faced the end with the cameras rolling.
He really did.
To understand the public's reaction later, you have to remember his cultural footprint. Dr. Mark Sloan was a massive network TV fixture.
Huge. And then he transitions into Cal Jacobs on Euphoria, which introduced him to an entirely new, younger demographic. He was very much at the top of his game.
Which makes the timeline so much harder to process.
Yeah.
April 2025, that's when the news breaks. He announces he has ALS Lou Gehrig's disease.
And for those who might not know, ALS is a brutal neurodegenerative disease. It affects the nerve cells in the brain and spinal cord.
It essentially takes away your ability to control your muscles, right?
Right. And in Dane's case, the progression was incredibly aggressive. Sources confirm he began using a wheelchair and actually lost the use of his right arm within just months of the diagnosis.
That is terrifyingly fast.
It is. But what's wild is that he was still working. He filmed his appearance in the upcoming Euphoria Season 3 while his health was rapidly declining.
I can't imagine the physical toll that takes.
Or the logistical support needed on set.
And speaking of support, we have to talk about his ex-wife, Rebecca Gayheart. This is a crucial piece of the puzzle. They had been estranged, right?
Yeah, she actually filed for divorce back in 2018, but in March 2025, right as his health was failing, she completely withdrew her divorce petition to care for him.
She said, and I quote, "We show up for people no matter what."
It's an incredible display of loyalty.
So we get to the main event, February 19th, 2026. He passes away, surrounded by friends, Rebecca, and his two teenage daughters, Billy and Georgia.
And initially, the public reaction is exactly what you'd expect. Pure love. Patrick Dempsey shared memories of his twinkle. Alyssa Milano talked about how he softened around his kids.
Sam Levinson called him a gift. Sydney Sweeney posted, "Forever will love you." It was beautiful.
It was.
But while the stars were mourning, a storm was brewing on a crowdfunding site that would completely split the fan base in two.
It got so ugly.
Coming up, the $250,000 question that has everyone talking.
Right. A millionaire's legacy or a tone-deaf ask. That was the headline everywhere.
Because immediately following his death, a group called Friends of the Dane Family launched a verified GoFundMe campaign.
And the specific goal here is important. It wasn't for funeral costs. It was for his daughter's future needs and stability.
The description stated that his illness had exhausted family resources.
And that phrase, exhausted family resources, that's what lit the match.
Let's look at the facts. The numbers are staggering. The fund raised nearly $300,000. Some sources say $277,000. Others say $295,000 in just 48 hours.
Which is a massive amount of money.
It is. But the jaw-dropping moment was when Euphoria creator Sam Levinson and his wife Ashley dropped a single $27,000 donation.
27 grand in one click.
And this is where the viral response turns into outright fury. Instead of applauding the generosity, the internet just exploded.
I mean, they were livid. Social media was flooded with people calling it tone deaf. They were calling it grifting.
I was reading through some of the Reddit threads, and people were asking, is this the new trend? Why are average Joes funding rich kids?
Yeah, critics were arguing that Eric Dane was a highly successful network TV star. He must have made millions over his career.
Right. So the argument is, why are working class fans being asked to maintain a Hollywood family's lifestyle? They said donations should go to ALS research, not to his daughter's future.
I totally get why that's the visceral reaction. When you're struggling to pay rent, seeing a celebrity ask for money feels deeply wrong.
It breaks that invisible contract between fans and stars.
Hmm.
But let's look at the counterpoint here, because the defense is actually really eye-opening.
It is. We have to look at the reality of the American healthcare system. 24/7 nursing care for ALS is financially catastrophic.
Regardless of your status.
Exactly. Even if you have great union insurance like SAG-AFTRA insurance, health insurance typically covers medical procedures. It does not cover long-term custodial care.
So having someone in your home to help you eat or bathe or move, that's all out of pocket.
All out of pocket. And in California, round-the-clock specialized nursing can easily cost upwards of $500,000 a year. Liquid cash.
Wow.
Add in the cost of retrofitting a home for accessibility, specialized wheelchairs, it drains wealth incredibly fast. Rebecca Gayhart actually admitted she had to cover nursing shifts herself when help wasn't available.
Which proves they were stretched thin. And when someone dies, their assets often get tied up in probate, right? So the daughters might not have immediate access to whatever money is left.
Exactly. The GoFundMe was likely a bridge to ensure Billy and Georgia had stability right now, having just lost their primary earner.
It's a really complex debate. If you want to stay on top of these Hollywood controversies before they hit your feed, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead.
And the crazy part is, the money was only one half of the story.
Right. Because Eric Dane left something else behind. A secret recording that no one saw coming until after he was gone.
The tape he left behind.
This part of the deep dive gave me chills. Back in November 2025, months before his death, he sat down for a secret interview.
It was for a Netflix series called Famous Last Words. The premise is intense. Guests speak on camera with the understanding that the footage will only air after they pass away.
The episode dropped on Friday, February 21st, literally one day after his death.
The timing was just staggering.
And the visuals are haunting. You see Dane in a wheelchair. His voice is hoarse, it's labored. But he still has that trademark spark.
He was completely present.
And the climax of the episode is when he's left totally alone in the room. The camera's rolling, and he speaks directly to his daughters.
He gave them 4 specific life lessons. Live in the present, fall in love, choose friends wisely, and fight with dignity.
That last one, fight with dignity, knowing what his body was going through at that exact moment.
It's heartbreaking. And then he gives the sign-off. He looks right at the lens and says, "Billy and Georgia, you are my heart. You're my everything. Good night. I love you." Those are my last words.
I mean, just devastating. And what's fascinating is how the public reacted to this.
The internet went completely silent.
All that rage over the GoFundMe, it just vanished, replaced by raw grief.
People were admitting to ugly crying online. You had Sweeney and Barbie Ferreira sharing the clip, completely heartbroken. It humanized him instantly.
It's a reminder that behind the wealth debates and the Hollywood headlines, there's just a dad saying goodbye to his teenage girls.
Right. And his voice isn't completely gone yet. He has a memoir titled Book of Days, set to be published later in 2026. So he made sure he had the final say on his own legacy.
Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next in the world of pop culture, because stories like this are changing the landscape constantly.
They really are.
As we wrap up this deep dive, it's hard not to reflect on the duality of this past week.
It was a roller coaster.
You have the profound beauty of his final message to his kids on one hand, and the sheer ugliness of the financial debate on the other.
It raises a really hard question for all of us.
It does. In an era of parasocial relationships, do we owe our favorite stars our money or just our attention?
And does tragedy erase the line between the wealthy and the rest of us, or does a medical crisis just expose how broken the system is for everyone?
That's something to think about. You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture.
Thanks for tuning in.
And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.